concepts, you are not able to get the knowledge. If you want to get the anything knowledge, you have the ideas, I mean concepts. What is concept? Concept is nothing but it is the building block of the thought. If you want to talk everything in among somewhere, you have concepts, ideas about the particular thing, because it is the building blocks. Consequently, they are the crucial and such a psychological process as categorization, inference, memory, learning, and decision making while acquiring philosophical knowledge. We have infer many things. We have a good memory. We have learnings, many things in this world. We take many important decisions, acquiring knowledge. Without having all these things, we have a knowledge of all these things. But if you want to define the things, you should come to the philosophy first. That is, therefore, first I told you that it is the mother of all sciences. Now we come to some, hello, branches of philosophy is one thing. Branches of philosophy, there are 5 important branches in philosophy. That is epistemology, metaphysics, ethics, logic, and aesthetics. These are the important branches of philosophy. So metaphysics, epistemology, ethics, logic, aesthetics are the important things. So what do you mean by epistemology? That is important thing. Theory of knowledge, actually it means, it is the theory of knowledge. Theory of knowledge, what it means, especially with the regard to its method, validity, and scope, and the distinction between justified belief and opinions. So what is knowledge? That is, if you want to define it, it is very difficult to you to define, because no such subject is there that you have learned. I mean, it is very highly impossible. Without philosophy subject, you can't able to study these things, because what do you mean by knowledge? What do you mean by knowledge? That is the important thing. How do you get the knowledge of the external world? Epistemo means it is the nothing but knowledge. It is Greek word actually. It is Greek word, which is the epistemo means knowledge. Logy means it is knowledge. So the science of study. How do you get the knowledge of external world? That is important thing. How do you get the external world? So there are 3 important S's in this topic, epistemology. According to me, there are 3 important S's. One is subject, another one is substance, another one is senses. Subject, senses, and substance. Subject, senses, and substance. These are the confusing words, but I will repeat it again. Subject, senses, and substance. These are the important 3 S's according to me. If you remove from one S, you cannot able to understand the knowledge of the external world. You know, subject means the man himself. Subject means the man himself. He is the capacity of the knowing the things. I mean, subject means you can also call it as the soul. If you don't have any such things in this body, you cannot able to understand the world, because there is no knower. Knower is the main thing to acquire the knowledge. If there is no knower, knowledge is highly impossible. You cannot able to take the knowledge from the external world, because your existence is essential. Your existence is must. If you don't know, I mean, if you are not there, knowledge is highly impossible. Second thing is senses. I will tell you some words in Kannada also after this uh, thing is over. So second thing is senses. You have five important senses. You have five important senses. That is the uh, ಇಂದ್ರಿಯಗಳು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಇಂದ್ರಿಯಗಳು, eyes, nose, tongue, skin, you know, and the important thing is ears. These are the five important senses. You can say ಇಂದ್ರಿಯಗಳು, senses, that ಕಣ್ಣು, ಕಿವಿ, ನಾಲಿಗೆ, ತ್ವಚೆ ಮತ್ತು ಮೂಗು. These are the five important bridges, five important doors to acquire the knowledge of the external world. Of the external world. That is important doors to receive the things from the experience of the world. So if you lose one of your sense, just you are losing the whole knowledge which comes from that sense. For example, if you take the blind man, the blind man cannot be able to recognize what is beauty. The blind man cannot be able to recognize what is the natural things. So the same thing happens with dumb and deaf also. So who is not hearing, he don't have the idea of the music. You don't have the idea of the musical things or any sound systems, because you don't he is not able to understand the things, because he is not able to hearly that I mean properly hearing. That is the important aspect. So five important doors means five important senses to acquire the external world. So in other words, our senses are playing a bridge role in between man and the world. Man and the world. So what you know, it is only by means of your external senses. You are knowing because you have a proper understanding, because you have a proper senses. If you don't know, that means your sense is not working properly. So for example, if somebody has a high sugar, he is not able to understand what is the pain. When you have a high sugar patient, he is not able to feel the things because the senses of the skin, that is already washed away. Therefore, the five important senses are there. Without these five senses, you are not able to acquire the correct knowledge of the external world. If you want to get it correct, you have the correct sense. You should have a correct senses, because God given us the senses to know the world. God given us the senses to understand the world. It uses the word. How do you use the things? That is the important thing we have learning in this aspect. Another one thing is, that is the substance. Substance means things. Things means it has, if there is no things, you are not able to get the knowledge. Think, for example, there is no things in this world. How do you get the knowledge? There is no trees, there is no stones, there is no water, there is no anything at all. But how you are able to get the things? So if there is a material world, then only it is possible for us to know the world. So senses, substance and subject are the important essence to get the knowledge of the external world. So there are some uh, limits of language also. There are some limitation. As we are human beings, we have some limitations to acquire the knowledge, because it is a vast, it is, the word is very vast. You are not able to understand beyond your capacity. You have some limits, your senses have some limitations to understand the things, to acquire the things. Beyond that, it is very highly impossible for us to know the things. It has its own limits. Within that limits, you are capable of understanding. Therefore, knowledge has some limits. Take, for example, the far away subjects are, I mean, things. If we look from our eyes, that will become a
बैलेंस जो अमाउंट है
yeah, it will going to blur.
870
Why it
जमा है
happens? Why it happens?
जो लास्ट
Because,
टाइम जो 10,000 पेमेंट वो भी एंट्री हो गए सर
hello, once again I will request, don't talk in between, please.
सर वो हमारा क्या है ना अकाउंटेंट हमारा पार्ट टाइम बेसिस में आता है
Hello, hello. So please don't disturb in between class, please, because don't talk also. If it is there,
हाँ उससे
if
पहले वाला एक क्या हुआ था ना हमने एग्जैक्ट परफॉर्म अमाउंट इनवाइस का सब
hello, somebody, if it is not possible, just you
हाँ
mute your
अभी
sound.
एट ठीक है सर उसमें एक और
Okay.
क्या चीज है ना एक स्प्रिंगलर का आपने 41.5 डिस्काउंट निकाला हुआ
Hello,
है एक टाइटल का आपने 40 निकाला
somebody is opened
वो
his okay audio.
इसका
Please
पेमेंट सर
mute it. Hello,
Shubha Hiremat, please mute yourself.
please mute, please. Otherwise, it will disturb everyone. Hello, don't talk in between. If it is very necessary, just you go away from the class, because it will disturb everyone. Okay, that is the important thing. Limits, we have a certain limits. Beyond that limitation, we are not able to understand the things at all, because every senses has its own limitation. I have given an example of why the far away subjects, I mean things, are not able to recognize by us, because it has its limitations. You know, after far away, the thing is going to blur. Within limitation, we are going to recognize the things. Therefore, every senses has its own limitation. Within that boundary, we are able to recognize the things. So that is the important thing. We can also ask that what is knowledge, how is knowledge acquired, what do people know, we are knowing it in different circumstances. For example, you can say that I have acquainted with uh, Narendra Modi. That means you are going to know that I know Narendra Modi very well. I know means there is no relationship, only about his knowledge, about his relation. You can also say that I am able to, I know how to swim across the river. In many times we are using the things. What do you mean by here? I know how to swim across the river. So I know, here I am using that know in ability to swim. Ability, in the meaning of ability, I am using the here know. So what is know can be defined in different circumstances. Anytime, many times we are using that capability, ability, how to ride a horse. It is nothing but it is ability to control the horse, or skill of the horse riding. So knowledge means each and everything in this world which we are going to get or acquired. It is depend upon the our sense experience, and many things we beyond our experience also. So in this part, just we are thinking about the experience. So what do you mean by the knowledge? Once again, I will ask that knowledge means it is justified beliefs. For example, just we are saying that any statement is true if I say a P means it is a proposition. P means any proposition. Any proposition can be true because it can be justified. It can be justified. Then only it can be proved. Justification must. So what is knowledge? We can also say that it is the justified true belief, because justification should be there. You should have also belief on your own thing, because you have already justified it. And another one thing is that should be true also. If it is not true, you should not able to justify the things. So that is important thing. What are the necessary and sufficient conditions of knowledge? Means justification is one thing, belief is one thing, and the ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಆ ಸಮರ್ಥನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಡುವಾಗ ಆ ಸಮರ್ಥನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾದ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಜ್ಞಾನ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಸಮರ್ಥನೆಗೆ ಒಳಪಡಿಸಲು ಸಾಧ್ಯವಿರುವ ಸತ್ಯವಾಗಿರುವ ನಂಬಿಕೆ. Knowledge is justified true belief. Knowledge is justified true belief. So what is the goal of epistemology? Another one important thing. Goal of epistemology is determine the criteria for knowledge, so that we can know what can or what cannot be known. In other words, the study of epistemology fundamentally includes the study of meta-epistemology also. Meta-epistemology also. Here it is very important thing. What do you mean by meta-epistemology? Epistemology is one thing, and meta-epistemology is beyond epistemology. Beyond epistemology. You have to think over all these things. So for example, I will give you what is the meta-epistemology or epistemology beyond epistemology. So every language has its own meta-language. Every language has its own meta-language. That means beyond language, some language is there. If there is no meta language, you are not able to understand this language. So language has its own meta language. For example, you can say English is a language. What is the meta language of English? Meta language of English is grammar. Grammar is the meta language of the English. So before you constructing the statements, before you are going to form the statements, you should have know the grammar of the